nothing else. Tonight ain't the night, knowing the price. Pay it off with my life, till it's out with your lights. Do it all for the Christ, and he ain't playing nice. Knew the end from the start. Fix your face like it's art. The sons of a simp, call him Bart. Yeah, you did your best, played your part. But now it's time to cut you to the heart. Flex on occasion. It's the strangest of the salvation. You see it, believe it, amazing. Them terrorists coming invasion since the creation. War, mine, Lord, bless the general. Greatest nation, eat them unequivocal. Bombs dropping, buddy, cause it's biblical. Start shit, now it's time to finish. Whoa. Said he won't vote, he looking for smoke. So, we give him some more. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world.
I can't wait for our kingdom to start and for there to be finished. Get rid of all of their idols and lying religions. Look for the crown like an Edris. Hey, this that crown talk. Wisdom of Solomon 5 talk. This that second Edris 6 and 9. We want eyes talk. It's your time to end. And my time again. It's our time to win. Away with the sin. You know what it is. Rejoice with my kin. See that is why we repented. Go to streets, I can see myself in it. The city is bright, the kingdom of light. A wonderful sight past the angels, the inner light. I need 1,000 years of labor. Sit on my throne with my savior. Try to know why and press alone. He bring pain like Major. You think the nations is equal to us? TK Kirkland, who raised you? Vex on occasion, my God a racist. That's why we moving with patience. It's been a long time coming. I spent my whole life running. Now that I'm 10 toes down and established my faith on 100. Woe to the nations, my king will race them. You know they gotta be punished. Jeremiah 25. Yeah, you know they gon' fry. Whoa! Said he won't vote, he looking for smoke. So, we give him some more. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. It's the end of the world. Ain't the beginning of ours. We want the world, we breaking them down. Taking the kingdom, can't wait for the crown. It's the end of the world.
Turn the mic. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Sir.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, throw some of that applause on there. Let's go. Yes, sir. Hey, family. Shalom. Most High Christ bless y'all. We are back. It's the Nehemiah Squad. We're going to reintroduce ourselves. I'm Captain Zaccai.
Hey, it's Officer Shem. Officer Judah.
Yes, sir. So today, throw that thumbnail up there, man. So today's show is called Black Accountability, or a mouthpiece for white America. All right. Our guest today is Rodane McKenzie. But before we bring him out, right, I'm gonna read his bio, and then we're gonna play a video, all right, of his, right? Because he's a TikTok star, right? So we're gonna play a video of his. But first, let me read his bio, okay? He says, I'm just a regular guy who gives his opinion online that is rooted in fact, nothing special. I say things the silent majority won't say, very big on taking accountability, not being a victim, and reducing the slave mind. All right. So now bring up video number 5, and then we're going to bring out the guest. All right.
Nobody gives a damn about the Jim Crow era. Nobody gives a damn about slavery.
Damn.
It already happened. So what? It's in the past. It already happened. You niggas need to understand one thing. It doesn't matter anymore. It already happened. It's the past for a reason. It doesn't exist anymore. Because guess what? White people used to say the N-word all the time. Now they're scared to say the N-word in a song they're singing at a concert or whenever they're bumping to music in their car. People look at you crazy because you cry about everything. Literally everything. You want to know what we're actually affected by today? People race baiting in politics. The fact that 52% of murders in America are committed by black men, even though we are only 13% of the population.
Whoa.
Like, think about that for a second. More than half of the murders done in America has been committed by by a set of people who are only 13% of the population. Bro, there's a problem. What's really affecting people is, black people wanting to punish the white man and get revenge on the white man for, number one, something that they never ever experienced in their life, which is slavery, and something that you never lived through. Point blank period. AKA reparations. Like, do y'all not see how dumb this is? How are you gonna ask for something? How are you gonna ask for compensation for something that you never went through, something that you did not experience during the time through which you lived or have lived? Bruh, you weren't even born yet. You know what I'm saying? Your mom didn't even think about having you yet. Nobody cares, man. Stop crying.
Yo.
Nobody gives a damn about
Hey,
the gym.
drop that video, man. Hey, bring out our guest, Mr. McKenzie. Bring him out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yo, Rodane McKenzie. Well, go on, brethren. Yo, listen, bro, let me ask you a question, bro. I got to ask you a couple questions before we get to it. Where you from, bro?
Well,
You sound, that name McKenzie sound Jamaican, bro.
oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, there you go.
I'm of Caribbean descent. My parents are fully Jamaican, so yeah.
Okay, yes, sir. I'm not saying that to try to make it look like you're not FBA, because my people are from the Caribbean as well, right? So,
Okay, nice.
all right. So I want to get that out the way before we get to you, bro. What's going on with you, brother? What are you talking about? Slavery doesn't matter anymore. Jim Crow, slavery don't matter no more, bro. You got to explain yourself, man.
Yeah,
Please.
no problem, man. I mean, like you read my bio, it's pretty simple, man. I think a lot of people, they're just everybody's, especially Black Americans. I noticed because as they say, I'm not, a Black American. I'm not an FBA. I'm a tether, so that's like my name online. But I really think that I don't think Black people understand how powerful like we can be or they can be, because like I said, they don't consider me to be one of them, but they don't understand the power that they have if they just resist the slave mind. And when I say resist the slave mind, I mean, just take accountability. I mean, everything starts in the home. And when I say, slavery doesn't exist today, I mean, it quite literally doesn't. I mean, you people do work for people. So, if you want to say slavery still exists, we just get paid more for it. I guess you can still call it slavery. But in terms of that, like, I just think, the victim mentality is something that, has harped on the Black community for a long time. And it's something that needs to go. Like, and I think a lot of Black, Americans use that victim mentality to get out of situations and, blame other people for their problems. So, yeah.
Well, let me say this to you. Slavery, as it has existed, is still bothering our people today. That's 100%, right? And when it looks like people are crying, when you're saying they're complaining, right? They need to complain, right? You have to complain. But when you look at our people we do a lot in this country. Think about it, right? Most of the inventions was made by what? Black people, right? This is a fact, right? Now, when you come out, and you're supposed to know this, making the statements you make, you're supposed to know that after slavery into the 1910s, the 1920s, Black people were living at a very high level. You do understand that, right? Okay, so my question to you is, what happened? What happened from that time when Black people had the Black Wall Streets? We'll just call them Black Wall Streets for to lack of better words, right? Great neighborhoods, infrastructure, right? They were bankers, doctors, the whole nine. Had our own thing going on all over America. What happened from that time till now? Because right now, we're not as strong as we were back then. So tell me what happened. Did they have the victim mentality? What happened?
Yeah, I'm actually glad you brought that up because, it's surprising to me how a lot of Black Americans don't understand that, that Black people were absolutely like striving, like back in the day, when Jim Crow was around. And that's always one of my questions, is like, how were Black people striving, making a lot of money? Families were taken care of. People were getting married. Kids were being made. Back in the 1910s, in the early 1900s, as you mentioned, when Jim Crow was around, the term Black Wall Street is something that's very, very popular nowadays. But a lot of Black Americans don't understand that. And, the fall from grace really, had to do with, obviously, I will, admit things that happened. Obviously, the system, they call it systemic racism, whatever you want to call it. But,
we want to call it the white man. Yeah, I mean, listen, Rodane. No, you can't do this, bro. You can't do this. The as fast as you come out and say, don't complain, you have to go to the fact of what happened. White people destroyed Black people's homes, neighborhoods, professions, the whole nine, my brother.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I said I could.
I didn't hear you say it though.
I was about to say it, but you cut me off.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. Listen,
because you called it the
understand,
system.
like
You
I
said the system,
like,
or whatever you want to call it. So I had to help you out. I wanted to get there.
like I said, like you point. I'm glad you brought that up because, like you said, Americans were living real nice. Well, Black Americans were living real nice back, in the early 1900s. It's crazy. But then, obviously, white people, they wanted to. The problem was segregation. They wanted to get rid of segregation and do like integration, and that kind of messed everything up. The civil.
Right.
I've always said this, and a lot of Black Americans don't understand this as well. White people trying to help us in a way that they tried to do. I mean, it was out of the goodness of their heart. In a way, they wanted to get rid of segregation, but I feel like it was forced. And what I mean by that is they destroyed Black Wall Street, right? And everybody had to go to the same schools now. Blacks didn't have their own banks, they didn't have their own grocery stores anymore, and all of a sudden everybody's just clumped up together, and that kind of messed everything up. So I will admit that absolutely happened. Like, it's there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's written in the history books. I mean, you can't argue with facts.
Rodane, dropping dynamite on people is out of the goodness of their heart.
Gonna say.
Right.
That's basically what you said.
Now, when I said out of the goodness of their heart, I mean with
good intentions.
With the whole forced integration stuff. They wanted all white people to come together, go to the same schools of Black people, and that's eventually, as the host just mentioned, what destroyed Black Wall Street and the Black family and everything like that. Because, like you said, we were striving during the Jim Crow era. I mean, it's unreal how well Black Americans were doing, and then obviously that happens, and then here we are today.
We were only doing that well because we were to ourselves. You understand that, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. The Civil Rights Movement, the Civil Rights Act, right, was one of the worst things that could have happened to the Black community.
Right, but one thing you got to understand, Rodane, is that white people set that up. That was a thought. It wasn't, let's do this so we can all be together. It was, let's integrate so we can control them.
Right.
Because remember, before that, like we just said, the banks and everything, even go to sports. Remember, you had what was called the Negro League Baseball, right? They had the best players. So what did they do? They started to take the players and bring them into the Major League Baseball league. After a while, they took a few, and then that league was defunct. And then now they got all the players, and now we got what we got today, where you barely got a Black owner.
Right.
When you had a whole slew of owners back in the 30s and the 20s and 40s and all of that, right? So it was a plan, and that's what we're trying to tell you, that it's not just Black people saying, hey, we don't want to pick ourselves up by our bootstraps. It's, hey, these people, we have to destroy them systematically. We have to be smart, all right? In the Bible, in Exodus chapter 2, it talks about the time when Moses, right, when he was born, right, when the Israelites were in Egypt, and what the Egyptian king said, we have to deal wisely with this people, right, because they're going to get bigger than us. So what did? They started to put them into slavery, start trying to kill off all the men, right? And the same thing happened here in America, right? So and in the Caribbean and all the places where our people went into slavery, because obviously, we were dispersed all over, right? But the point of it is, bruh, we cannot be sitting here trying to kowtow for white people or America. It's an impossibility. It just should never happen in life.
The way he sound, Rodane, the way you sound like it's the atrocity that happened, and we just use the Black Wall Street because it's one that everybody knows and it's tangible, right?
Right.
The downplay of what happened there, you say, well, it was for good intentions. They wanted to integrate. They didn't want to integrate, right? And then think about this. I'll merge two topics together, right? Why people want reparations? Do we say reparations going to happen or whatever? Or are we advocating for it? Not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? One thing we do agree on is we do need to be self-sufficient, okay? But we cannot downplay what has happened and why our people feel the way we feel, right? So look at this. How many millionaires do we have that own banks, that own hotels, that own theaters? And after not only Black Wall Street, but it was many Black-owned country cities like that, right? What happened to the wealth?
Right.
What happened to the wealth? And why don't the descendants of those people have it today to employ Black people, so on and so forth, so we can be self-sufficient? Why do we have to start over again? And with the mindset that you have, or if we forget about it, to what end? Let's say we build Black Wall Street again. Is this not a possibility that it could happen again?
Oh, it's going to happen again.
Yeah, if you don't know your history, you doomed to repeat it. Right. So if we don't acknowledge what happened the last time, let's say we get successful again, we forget about slavery. We forget about all these things, and we just move forward and push forward. And then boom, it happens again.
Yeah.
Right.
We got to start over again. So what I'm saying to you is we cannot downplay what has happened and why we in the state we in.
Right. Because and we also got to remember, Rodane, you may know it or may not know it. You know, all of these what they call all these special things that came into play, welfare, Section 8, all these different programs, they split our families up, right? Literally. Now, before that, they would give welfare to the whole white family. They would get on their feet, they'll be on their way. Even the projects, what you know today is the projects throughout America, everybody was living in the projects. But what did they do? It started in New York. What did they do? They gave money to the white people. Literally, this is a fact. You can look this up. They gave money to white people, moved them out to the suburbs, and built those suburban neighborhoods. That's the first time that ever happened. It was called Levittown. They built those neighborhoods, left the black people back in the projects, and then took away all services from the projects, and that's why you see it the way it is today. And white people gained what's now known as generational wealth from that time, from owning homes and flipping and flipping and flipping, and that's how they wound up getting that advantage over us. This is a known fact, brother. You know what I mean? So when I say we, I'm talking about yourself. I'm talking about us as a people. When we speak out or against our people or in support of white people's system that got us here, we got to be careful because you have to know the history before you can speak on things like that.
Right.
Right? We know a lot of our people are committing crimes and so on and so forth. Yeah, of course, don't do that. Right? Don't do that. That's what we teach. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. You know what I mean? This is basic. The 10 Commandments is the best thing you could learn. Right? You'll be good if you could follow that. You'll be all right. So we tell the people, don't do that. But we understand, yes, you got to stop doing that. But the other people who are striving, listen, it's a battle. It's an uphill battle, my brother. It's an uphill battle.
I mean, listen, I'm not disagreeing with anything that you guys are saying. This is 100% rooted in fact. My problem though is Black people today using that as an excuse as to why they're not where they are today. I mean, if you look at my profile, right? I mean, I've kind of, stopped talking about it because it's kind of, redundant now. But, I focus more on politics stuff that's going on today. And I just react to more like, immigration stuff nowadays because that's, very popular. But I just want, what I wish is that a lot of Black people would just not use that as an excuse. Like, yes, it happened. But what I'm saying is like, it's not today. It's 2026. There's literally nothing that a white person can do that a Black person, like, I can't think of anything. We all have the same rights. We all have the same opportunities. In fact, if you actually go to college, you get a degree, let's say you become a doctor, right? And the other white guy, your counterpart, right? He becomes a doctor as well. All things are equal, right? You have the same grades, same credentials, everything. The Black person is actually more likely to get that job because of, even though, Trump did take away affirmative action, DEI, all that stuff, there's still quotas that companies need to hit because, they're very woke. And they have those quotas in place. But the fact is that, listen, I'm not disagreeing with you guys that it happened. You cannot rewrite or, erase history. It happened. Like, it's there in the textbooks. You can read it. What I'm saying is that it should not be used as an excuse in 2026.
Well,
for being mediocre. Like, I'm just not willing, especially when you have, people coming from other countries being successful. I mean, I can give you a great example. One of the podcasts I watch all the time is Patrick Bet David. That guy, I'm pretty sure he's from Iran.
Yeah,
he's an immigrant.
Yeah.
Right.
Syria.
He came here with nothing. Right. He came into the insurance business and now he's successful, all from his own doing. So my question is, whenever these Black people, Black people in America, they use this excuse, I'm like, so how is an Iranian guy coming here with nothing to his name? How is he successful? How are all these Indians coming here? All of a sudden they own a petrol station or they're working or they own a family business.
But
see, you about to hear it.
Right. Right. So that's no. It's good you brought that up, right? It's good you brought that up because let's stay on that vein about coming here, right? Many of our people who are here are doing great, right? When I say great, doing well, have achieved educational, high education, right? Doing well. Many Black Americans. I mean, that's without a doubt. I mean, you go to Baltimore, Maryland right now, in Upper Marlboro and all of that. You go into those exclusive neighborhoods. It's all us. You go through there and think it's white people. It's all us there. So many of our people have done well. That's not the problem, right? Now, we're going to talk about these Indian people that come over. Do you understand that they're the only ones that can get loans to open those gas stations? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Right. So why bring that up? Because if you want that gas station, you're going to have to actually go in with the amount of money it's going to take to get that, but they're not looking at you. I'm going to tell you a quick story, right? Back in New York, I grew up in New York. Have you been in New York?
Yeah, I'm actually from the tri-state area. I'm familiar with that.
Okay, good. So you know the little chicken places, right? Little Kansas fried chicken,
yeah,
all those little corner. We were going to open one of those, right? Couldn't find out how to get that franchise. Bumped into a guy from the Middle East, right, who we knew from school. And he told us, well, listen, I'll introduce you to my brother, but they don't let y'all open these places. That's only for us. But I'm going to introduce you to my brother and see what he can do for you. When I heard that, I thought to myself, wait a minute, I never seen nobody Black or any other nation own them places. So what you got to understand is America is this is a clown show. This is Hollywood. What you watching is TV. So they got a bunch of tricks going on that you don't understand. This is why you see people come and open up a gas station, and you don't see how people open a gas station. They won't give you the loan.
Right.
Not only that, but some white people can't get the loan to open up them gas stations. All right? They have it set up. So these are the things you got to look into. Patrick Bet-David, okay, cool. He came off. He did very well. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say too much, but I did business with his insurance company. I don't know him personally, right? But I have. You know what I'm saying? So when I found out that he was the owner of that thing, I said, oh, damn, I didn't know that, right? But the point of the matter is there's many of our people that have done well as Patrick Bet-David. We got billionaires here, but we don't have what? Unity. That's what we're missing. We don't have the unity because us being with each other, it seems like something's wrong with that, right? We're scared to be with one another. Why? Because they destroyed us in Tulsa. They destroyed us in North Carolina. They destroyed us in Atlanta. All the places where we had our communities and doing great, they destroyed us. So now it's beat into us so bad that now what? We're rolling solo. As long as I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm good. My family's good. That's it. Right. Look at this. Read this. Hey, turn that mic on.
Historic Black towns in Oklahoma and similar. Black Wall Street. Communities across the U.S. were thriving. Self-sufficient economic hubs established in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Notable examples include Oklahoma's Boley, Langston, and Rentisville alongside...
Hold on. So these are additional places besides Black Wall Street, which was in Tulsa. Go ahead.
Rentisville alongside historic business districts like Durham's Haiti, Chicago's Bronzeville, and Atlanta's Sweet Auburn, which fostered Black prosperity.
Right.
Historically, all Black towns in Oklahoma. From 1865 to 1920, over 50 all-Black towns were established in Oklahoma as havens from racial violence and discrimination.
Damn.
13 of these still exist today.
Right. So no, stop there. We good. Right. We just wanted to show you that, Rodane, to let you know that back then, look how much. That's only one state. They basically they talked about Atlanta and different places, but that's basically one state with all of those different cities that were thriving with us to do what? Stay away from racial violence and what? And overall racism. Let's stay to ourselves. But when white people saw that, they said, these guys are prospering. We have to stop it.
Yeah.
We have to stop it. What you're going to realize, this has been happening from the beginning of time, you know? So in our conversation tonight, we're going to show you some things from way back so you can understand our total history and as to why these things are happening to us. It's not as simple as just, oh, listen, as a Black American, they're coming with excuses. No, because our people are still making money. We're just not together as a unit. That's why it looks like this. When you look at the overall, they said if Black Americans, this is just Black Americans now, had a GDP, which is you know what a GDP is, would be 9th overall in the entire world, bro. The entire world. Are you see? That's crazy. So letting you know that if the Black Americans alone were their own country, how powerful would they be? They were more powerful than Italy. Bro, if we pull up the list right now, you'd be shocked, right? So it's not about making money and becoming successful financially and educationally. This is something else what's going on here, bro. It's to keep us separated. That's the key. So if we are together, we're strong. But separated the way we are now, and this has been over time, they systemically got us like this. And that's what we want to bring out to you, you know. And we know your viewpoint, but we're saying, bro, we understand what you're trying to say, but we got to be careful, because then what happens is, slowly but surely, you start to develop a hatred for your people. You don't want to do that. Do you have a white girlfriend, Rodane? Rodane, come on, talk to me, bro.
I knew this question was coming.
Do you have a white girlfriend?
I'm a single guy.
Rodane, that sounds like you're tap dancing.
Huh?
Are you tap dancing with me, brother?
Nah, man, I'm a single man. But I'll let you know this. I completely agree with you. That's one thing that, you know, the black community needs to do is, you know, come together, because if you look at, you know, different communities, like, you know, Jewish people, I mean, those people, man, like, you know, they're questionable right now, right? Israel's getting a lot of heat right now, but one thing I will say about Jewish people is, like, they spend money within their own communities, right?
They
somehow that dollar that Jewish person is spending is gonna go to another Jew. Like, it's not gonna go to another, like, it's gonna go to a Jew.
Yes.
So,
but Rodane, that's what we tell it. That's what we had going on.
We had that first.
That's what we had going on.
And they destroyed it.
So we didn't need. Listen, a lot of our people, we look to the Jewish people because we respect their financial acumen. We look at it. We say, "Yo, these guys are great at what they do." But you got to understand, this was already happening 100 years ago. Plus, we were doing that. That's why they stopped us, because they know the power that comes behind it. They're not worried about Jewish people because Jewish people is white. And they're not the real Jews anyway. But anyway, they're white.
They're not.
No, glad you know. Yeah. So they're white. So as long as they're white, they're able to be in the family. Same thing with the Italians. When the Italians came over here, they was calling them niggas. Because they know in Sicily, they know our people had invaded them and maybe they could be black. So they were calling them niggas. But then after a while, they started whitening up. They say, you know what? They like us now. So now they could come over and be white. You see what I'm saying? So these are the things, bro. Hey, listen, I want to play something for you real quick. I want to get your take on this, right? You know Anton Daniels, right?
Yeah.
Yes. You know the BS that he got involved with last week and all that, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I saw a clip of it.
Right. Me as well. But there's one thing I want to show you, and I want to hear what you have to say about this. I want to get your take on this. Bring up number 7. Bring up number 7.
So are you saying black people in the United States, some of them have skipped over racism?
Yes, definitively.
Come on, man.
Definitively. You have a greater chance of being killed by somebody that look like you than to ever interact with somebody that don't look like you and kill you.
But do you
That's a
understand,
fact.
do you understand that it's made like that on purpose? The position
It's the system.
the
The system
position
against
that-
us. I got it.
Okay, but the position you and your people are in,
Who was my people?
black people, do you claim black people?
I'm a Christian first.
Oh,
I claim.
Well, I think something's wrong with that. If you
Wow.
don't want to say you're a black man first, I think something wrong with
Black
that.
is a construct. They told you that you was black.
Okay, well,
That's why
brown.
you start
Brown
believing it.
then.
No.
Maybe
We
I'm
not
brown.
brown. We not black.
Hey.
We not none of that shit.
what? Hey,
Wow.
drop that. Rodane, talk to us, bruh. What's up with your man?
They explain.
What is
Hey, I'm
going
not
on
gonna
here?
lie. That wasn't the part that I expected you to show me. I think they got into like a bit of a beef at
They
the end.
did.
but-
that's
They
what-
did. We're going to get to that later. But
I mean,
I'm talking about this.
I mean, I don't find anything wrong with what
Oh,
Anton
Lord.
Daniels said. I mean, there's
Lord have
nothing
mercy.
wrong with identifying as a Christian first. I mean, what's wrong with that?
I'm going to tell you what's wrong with it. First of all,
I'm going.
in current Christianity, right, you would have what? You would have white Jesus there, okay? You got Christmas. You got everything that the Bible is against. If you didn't know, the
Everything.
Bible is against Christmas.
Everything.
The Bible is against Easter.
Well, I'll let you know straightforward. I don't believe Jesus is white. I don't believe Jesus was born on Christmas Day. I actually don't celebrate Christmas.
Okay,
So,
very good.
that's
excellent.
I don't believe in that stuff. But I'm
No.
a Christian.
Okay.
I grew up in church, but I don't believe, Jesus was born on Christmas Day. I'll just put it that way.
No, he definitely was not. And we'll show you something in the Bible. And this is how come we love these kind of conversations, because you know, obviously we have some type of education you don't have. You know, we study the Bible like inside and out, right? So when we look at the church system and they say something like, okay, Jesus Christ's birthday is December 25th, we know that the Bible actually gives the time when he was born. It actually says it. So why has no church ever said this?
Right.
Right? Because they want to keep us bound up in this Christian foolishness. So, and we're going to get that thing in Luke chapter 2, right? And that's why we have to say something about this, because to say that you're not black or you don't identify as black is ridiculous. Now, we know that black is just a color, right? There's no place called black. Right, but there were terms always used throughout time we will always call that. You heard of the Moors? That just means black, right? In the Bible, the word nigger is there. It was talking about the Jews, right? So we're going to show you these things. What Anton Daniels is actually saying is that he's not a part of this. He's above this. I'm a Christian. I'm not black. That's the dumbest thing you could ever say, because what is the name of these white boys? The National Christian
Christian Nationalists.
The Christian Nationalists, right? They go to church every Sunday. They don't want you in their church, bro. They don't want you. You can't go to their church.
And they call themselves Christians.
Yeah, and we're comfortable with that because they can't come in our church. Yo, they cannot come in our church at all. Yeah, because we know they ain't right. Yeah, Rodane, listen, we gotta tell it to you straight. Yeah, they not coming inside. Never. So they know the reason they don't want us in there because they know who we are. They know who you are, brother. You don't know who you are. We're gonna show you tonight.
I know for sure who I am.
Okay.
Tell me, Rodane.
Bro, I gotta show you something beautiful.
I'm definitely not confused about that.
Okay, very good. Because I gotta show you something beautiful. But hey, read that thing, bro. Luke chapter 2. I think it's right at the top. Like, bro.
Luke chapter 2 and verse 40.
Hold on. No. Read from verse 1.
Verse 1, yes, sir.
Yep.
Luke chapter 2, verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed.
Right.
And this taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria.
Come on.
And all went to be taxed, every one into his own city.
Go ahead.
And Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth.
Right. So that's Christ's father, Joseph, right? Said that what? He had to go back to his hometown in order to put in his taxes, right? Go ahead. And this is when Rome was ruling, right? So the whole tax system like we have today was the same thing back then, right? Go ahead.
Into Judea unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David.
Go ahead.
To be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child.
Right. So Mary had what? Christ was in her stomach, and she was about to give birth, right? Read on.
And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered.
Right. So my question to you is, when is tax season? When is tax season?
It's coming up right now.
Right. But you know around the date when it is. When is it?
I think the deadline is April 15th.
Exactly. When you look back, that has always been the tax time. Meaning what? Christ was born around that time. What's also around that time? You have Passover. That's when Christ was born, around Passover time, the ending of March, beginning of April, right? Which is Passover, which is the beginning spring. That's when life starts. Not January when it's winter time, talking about that's the beginning of the year. No, that's what white people put together, right? So what we're showing you here, and not only here, but when you read down further in the chapter, is letting you know that Christ was born around the time of Passover.
Yep.
Right? So this is a real thing. You can read that for yourself.
Like I said, I'm right there with you. I mean,
okay.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I'll give you a bit about my background. So I grew up going to church, right? I used to be the guy who played the piano, played drums, everything, right? My dad's a bishop, so I know this.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad's a bishop, so I've never ever, like I said, I don't believe in December 25th, right? I kind of, I don't like to push my religious beliefs onto other people. So whenever people ask me, I just tell them, I don't celebrate Christmas.
Right.
And it's quite frankly because, it doesn't make sense. How was it tax season, right? And, he was born then. And also like, this whole white Jesus thing, Listen, I don't know, what color he is, but I know he's not white.
Well, he's black.
at the end of the day, that's you could debate that, but I don't.
You can't.
I don't believe he was born, on Christmas Day. I don't celebrate Christmas,
Right.
So,
Right.
but that time around, April time is probably a more accurate time he was born. But
Yeah.
And
the reason we bring out these facts, right, is so that we know for sure. Like you said, you don't know for sure. You don't know what color he was, but you know he wasn't white. But the Bible says what color he was. The Bible says what color the angels are. The Bible says what color the Israelites are. Like, it's literally in there. You know what I mean? Have you ever heard Revelation chapter 1 and 14?
you can read it to me.
We got to read it for you. And then I'm going to get back to Anton Daniels.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow.
Stop. The hair of his head was white as wool. Who's got woolly hair? Let's just be honest. Bruh, let's be honest.
Well, I mean, our hair does curl a little bit. So.
Bruh, come on, you know what it is. Literally in the old dictionaries, they used to say woolly hair, the hair of Negroes. Please, can y'all find that? That's literally in the dictionary, but they took that out of the dictionary. That was in the dictionary before, but then they said, oh, shoot, they're going to know that Christ is black. Take that out of there, right? They said the hair of his head was white as wool, right? White as snow, meaning it was white colored and it was woolly, like sheep's wool, right? Lamb's wool. Go ahead, read on.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Okay.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Like unto fine brass. What color is brass?
Darker color.
Right. Brown. Like that the name of that town was called Bronzeville. It was called Bronzeville because black people was there. That's what it is. Brass, bronze, that's what it is. Go ahead, read on.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Right, as if it burned in a furnace. So that's a dark-skinned man. It's telling you right there. That's not the only place where it gives you that. It says that also in the book of Daniel. And it tells you about the Israelites' color in Lamentations 5, all of it. So when we bring out these scriptures, the church, if I'm telling you the stuff we showing you, you never hear the churches say it. We have the same exact Bible. Why don't they bring it out? Because they want us to, I'm Christian, I'm not black. Everything to make us assimilate.
Yep.
That's the whole point, for us to assimilate, you know?
Let me get one.
Yes, sir.
Go to 1 John chapter 4 and verse 3. This is why the yo modern day church don't say it. Let me show you right here.
1 John chapter 4 and verse 3.
Come on.
And every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh.
Now, Rodane, what color is my flesh?
Well, you're black.
Brown, black, whatever you want to say, right? Scripture say everybody that don't confess that Christ came in the flesh, his flesh, come on,
is not of God.
It said they're not of God. Come on.
Right.
And this is that spirit of Antichrist.
Wait, what? It's the spirit of what?
Of Antichrist.
So if you don't confess that Christ came in the flesh, you know what that that goes with? Knowing who he was, who his people was, what color he was. Go to go to 1 John 5 and 8 now. 5 and 10, excuse me.
1 John chapter 5 and verse 10.
Come on.
He that believeth on the Son of God hath the witness in himself.
Come on.
He that believeth not God hath made him a liar.
When you don't believe God, you make him a liar. Why? Come on.
Because he believeth not the record.
Because the record is not believed that what?
That God gave of his son.
That he gave of his son. Where did we just read the record? We just read the record in Revelation.
Right.
1:14. The record is his head and his hairs was white like wool. His color was like polished brass, or what did it say?
Yeah, burnt in the furnace.
Burnt in the furnace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the record that God gave of his son. And if you don't believe that, you don't believe that record, that's the spirit of the Antichrist, man.
Right.
That's what the scriptures say.
Hey, bring up video number 10. We're going to show you. We have to get your comments on Anton Daniels, man, because, you know, I know you were kind of going in that trajectory to Anton, but you kind of drifted off. You're doing some politics now. But I know you're probably going to wind up going back to that at some point if it shows itself. But look at this clip, and then we're going to ask you. This is kind of the part where they started to get into the little drama with each other. But before the actual drama part is what we want, right? Go ahead. Video number 10, y'all.
See, I suck again.
No, let me get it from the beginning. Okay, that is the beginning. Okay, there you go.
See, I suck again. We can go back right now. We can go back right now. I'm with you.
Media and Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels almost come to blows after some choice words from Anton Daniels during a heated debate.
It's a reason you go after black males or black people quicker than you will go after white males. What are white males responsible for in this country as the downfall
I'm an
of
equal
it?
accountability smoke giver. I talk about everybody.
Here's the fact. Have you seen something about Caucasian males and how they
Absolutely.
destroy this nation? Well, what did I miss?
Let's slow down because you're talking loud, but you're not saying a lot.
Wow. No, you talking loud,
you talking loud,
and you still talking around. What did the Caucasian male do to America to bring it down?
I'm not getting into that.
You danced around it, and that's why I lose respect.
Pause. You see, he asked him directly, what has this white man done in America to our people? This man said, I'm not talking about that. Hit play.
For you when you start dancing and kissing Caucasian males' ass.
But I don't.
Don't do that in front of me because I'm not an ass kisser of nobody.
Yes, you are. You suck the
When you-
black people
Whoa.
right now.
Whoa. You see, this guy went and lost his mind.
Yeah.
Right? He lost his mind on that one. And then y'all could watch the rest. They started to, it went into a different place. Right? After he said that, Corey Holcomb wanted to just beat him into oblivion. Right? But let's drop that for a second. So, Rodane, the question that Corey asked him was the same question I asked you in the beginning. When are you going to start talking against these white people? They've done wickedness. They've done much wickedness in the earth.
I've said it many times on my channel. One of the worst, things today is the white liberal. I mean, Malcolm X. There's a reason. There's a reason why there's no Malcolm X Day. There's a reason why there's an MLK Day and no Malcolm X Day. It's because Malcolm X warned us about the white liberal, right? And the policies that they vote for and the policies they put in place, I mean, they're quite frankly responsible for where we are today. Though, like, hands down, top three might not be three or two, it might be number one responsible for where we are today as a country. The downfall is the white liberal, and I've said that many, many times. My thing is just like I've said since the beginning. The accountability, although there are issues in life, you can't use that as an excuse for, being a YN or committing crimes. That's just my problem. Listen, you want to talk about the history and the facts? Absolutely. They are irrefutable. That's why they're called facts. They can be independently verified. But at the end of the day, your life is in your hands. The choices that you make are up to you. And, whether you want to pursue an education, I mean, nowadays, you don't even need an education to be successful, right? These degrees are like high school diplomas now. You can get a trade. There's so many things, so many avenues you can go down. But I do want to touch on the Anton Daniels there. And, I will say, obviously things got heated, but, Corey Holcomb was the one who started. He said he's kissing, white man's ass. So he gave it back. Now, would I have done the same thing? Right. I would have just not engaged. I'm talking about the conversation. But, I will say Anton kind of got caught up in the, back and forth. But, it was a pretty heated moment.
It was a heated moment, right? But Anton Daniels has, with that statement that he made, right? What comes out for me is he shows the lack of respect, and he shows no honor or respect to his people, right? Because the brother said, Corey said, kiss the ass of the white man, right? He could have used different words, but people know what kiss ass means. That just means that because Anton never says anything about white people. But then when you come back saying you S the D of black people, right? He now is going into another area. We all know between men, that's not something that's ever said. Nope, men don't say that to other men. That's outrageous, right? And pretty much for us, no, we probably would talk to you first, but that's fighting words for anybody outside of, you know what I'm saying, a spiritual understanding. And even if you're a good guy, that's going to kind of piss you off. You're going to want to put hands on somebody. It's kind of ridiculous. But the point of the matter is that the point when he said that he was S and the D of black people, what he's trying to say is that Corey shouldn't be standing up for black people. That's really what he's saying. See, we're getting caught up in the actual verbiage, but what's behind it?
Right.
He's saying you shouldn't really be standing up for no black people. He didn't say, oh, but you take up for black people. Of course. What else he's supposed to do? He's black. Not to say that he's not going to call out other black people in the wrong that they're doing, but how can you come on the internet every day posting negative about our people? You don't have nothing to say about them other people? That's outrageous. That's impossible. What's going on in this country? That's impossible. You would have to say something. You know what I mean? So, again, I know that you kind of siding with Anton because of how he is in the space, right? But bro, he's not right, and I'm gonna show you how he's not right. Now, I'm gonna ask you a question. Did you see when Corey Holcomb did another show and then put up a picture of Anton's daughter? And
I know. I honestly, I didn't even know Corey Holcomb like had a show. I thought he was just like a comedian or like
right.
I didn't even know that show.
Right. So he does a weekly show, right? That weekly podcast. The next week he came up and he put up Anton's daughter, right? Because he was saying that Corey Holcomb, he got kids out of wedlock. Anton said, I don't have any kids out of wedlock. I'm the perfect man. I'm what all black men should be. This is what he was saying, right? So Corey Holcomb went and brought a video up of his wife saying that Anton Daniels is very emotional and unstable. And she says she can see him killing people. His wife said this on video. Then Corey Holcomb put a picture up of Anton's daughter, right, and was calling her a man and everything else. It was very disrespectful. That wasn't right. But then, when everybody was getting on Corey Holcomb put out another video because Anton said children are off limits, right? Watch this. Hey, bring up number 9. We're going to show you something right now. Bring up number 9. Now, what you're about to see is what happened way previous to what Corey Holcomb did to him. Anton had put other children up there and was talking about children and wives. Watch this. Play number 9.
It's gay. I'm going to tell you right now to your face.
Listen to what I'm trying to tell you, man.
You want to talk about everybody else, wife, kids, and everybody, but when somebody say something about you, y'all got to go to therapy.
Our chicks was looking dusty as, right?
Pause.
So
Pause. So Rodane, keep that picture up. I want Rodane to take a good look. Those women that he's showing up there, right? Those are our wives and sisters. Literally. Those women are from our congregation. Okay? Sisters, wives, mothers. This man saw our organization and decided that he wanted to talk crazy about these sisters who he has never met. Right? Hit play.
Looking at these women, and the women's breath stink, the kids is dirty and nasty.
Hit pause. The man is saying that the women's breath stink, this and that. This man has never been around them. He puts pictures up of our children, right, who are enjoying themselves. We got something going on as an event. I can't remember exactly what that was, but he's showing pictures of us and then saying that they're filthy, they're nasty, they're this, they're that. This man hates his people, bro. This is what we're trying to tell you. This guy is ungodly. You cannot be a black man hating your people that much when you see an organization like ours where we dealing with the Lord, we moving and shaking. We don't have nothing to do with nothing. We're not out there causing problems. There's nobody. There's no fighting going on, no killings out of here. And you put our people up saying that. Hit play.
Kids is dirty and nasty.
Hey, look here, boy. I'm going to give you an out.
Right?
You leave me alone, I'm going to leave you alone.
Right. So drop that. Right? So this is what we're trying to tell you, bro. When that mentality of Anton Daniels, he's a very hateful individual, bro. He hates his people.
Yeah.
Don't think that he's doing this because, he just want to see black people get better. He's educated. He's this, he's that. No, that man hates his people. Right. And he's thinking that him kowtowing to white people is going to make him better or make him stronger. Right. But it's never going to work. The man put our people out there. You know why he felt so strong to doing that? Bro, when you see us moving around, we got thousands and thousands of men moving around. We're the last people that you're going to want to. I'm just saying we don't get into violence, but I'm saying we're the last people that you're going to say, you know what? I'm going to talk about them. But you know why he does that? Because he knows we're not going to do nothing to him. He knows we're not going to do anything to him. But now when it came back the other way, now he's crying. Oh, they put my daughter out there. Oh, this and that. Oh, now you're crying. Now you want attention. But bro, the reason we bringing this up is because the line of thinking, when we don't know our history, we start to hate our people, man. We hate ourselves, man. You know?
And he had the nerves to say that he identified as a Christian, right? But let's see how the Christians move. Give me Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. If you identified as a Christian,
right,
hating your people first and foremost,
right,
is sin. It's out of bounds.
Yeah.
That's out of bounds.
Right.
According to God. Read that. Watch this.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17.
Come on.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
This is your brother, your flesh, your kinsman. Come on.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Thou shalt anywise correct. The biblical term for rebuke is correct. Come on.
And not suffer sin upon him.
Come on.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Who's your neighbor?
The children of thy people.
Your people. Don't bear hatred or grudges against your people. So you can't really say that you're a Christian and you're quote unquote godly because you're going exactly contrary to what the scriptures say about hating and holding and bearing grudges against your people.
Yeah.
You got to see this, man.
Yeah.
This man is not right.
No, he's
all the way wrong.
Yeah, he's out of control. You know? And that's how come I asked, I said, do you have a white girlfriend or a white wife? That's why I asked, right? It's funny. But we've seen this before. Yeah.
But why does that say I did? Why does that matter?
It does matter. Because first of all, I'm gonna tell you straight, right? The Bible is against it, right? God is against it, right? God does not. Okay, we're gonna get the scripture for you. That's what we do. All we are is the management team of the Lord. That's all we are. We spokesmen. We bring out what the Lord says, right? Do you understand that a lot of our problems came through interracial marriage? The Lord is against that. Why? Because he wants to keep that holy line. He wants to keep us separated from the other people, bro. You see, spiritually, that's how come we were doing better before, because we were by ourselves. See, that's how the Lord wants us. We could deal with them in terms of business and everything else, but family, like a wife and having children, oh no, negative. You know what I'm saying? That's a no-go. We're gonna read it for you, and then we're gonna get back to the question. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son, for they will turn away thy son from following me.
Right. They will turn their son, because what's going to happen is when you marry the other nations, they're going to turn you away from following the Lord completely. Go ahead.
That they may serve other gods.
Right.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly.
Right. Because what happens is, let's say, for instance, right, we're Israelites, right? We know Christ is black. We know the Israelites is black. We know that, the 12 tribes is the so-called blacks and Hispanics and the Native Americans. We know this for a fact. Now, we say, you know what? Okay, I'm an Israelite, but I know this nice white girl and I'm going to marry her, right? Cool. You marry her. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to tell her that you're an Israelite now? And what? She's not Israelite. She cannot become one. It's bloodline. She cannot become one, right? So now the promises that you're going to receive, she's not going to receive. So what is she going to do? She's going to be like, well, I got my religion. I want to go to church. I want to deal with Christianity and white man Jesus. You're going to say, all right, cool. Because now you got to satisfy your wife. You're going to go that way. That's why the Lord said don't do it. It don't have nothing to do with the way they look. Because maybe some guys like white women. You know what I'm saying? That maybe that's just your what do you call it? Your preference, right? Right. Your cup of tea. Right. Right. You can like all different type of women. The Lord don't give a damn what people like, because he said, listen, I don't care what you like, because through the 12 tribes, you got all the flavors. Right. And I know as a Caribbean cat, and let me let everybody know, the men in the Caribbean want all the flavors. They want the Indian woman, the white one, especially, don't let them speak Spanish. They're gone. They leaving the reservation right away. Okay? you know it's true. That's why you laughing. Bro, you probably, bro, listen. Rodane, bro, tell the truth. When is the last black woman you dated, bro?
Tell the truth now. Tell the truth now. Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Yo.
If I'm being honest,
yes.
I've never really taken black women serious, and there's a reason.
Oh, Lord have mercy. You see? Go ahead.
There's a reason, but I got my reasons, man. And listen,
please tell us. Tell us.
I really never committed to. I've only ever had one person that I took serious. I was in a relationship for like 2 years.
Right.
And she was white.
Oh. Jesus.
But I've never. The black home is broken, and I don't mean to sound like that guy, but the single mother rate in America is crazy, especially for black families. The father's not in the home. And, I've just noticed, and I guess this is, a little bit of dating, but I find not necessarily a problem, but I just stay away from women who have, so-called daddy issues or their father's not in their life. And that just tends to be Black women. And that's exactly why I've never really dated one seriously. Not that I'm not necessarily open to it, right? Like you said, Caribbean men, I don't discriminate when it comes to that. I think you should go wherever you're loved. So that I've never really, I've only ever had one girlfriend. I'm quite, I like to think I'm young, but I'm getting older every day. But yeah, I've never dated a Black girl, and taken her seriously, because there's just certain traits that, and certain things that, they do that I'm just not with, being talking back, that just being, loud, rambunctious. And that's just, it's a very stereotypical thing, but it is true. And, most of the Black women that I have come across, even if it's in the tri-state area or, down, in Florida or wherever it is, it's just a very common thing. And that's just not my cup of tea. I like a more reserved, submissive woman. And that just tends to not be most Black women today, especially, with the, no father in the house, and, they think it's okay to, cause drama. So that's the reason why.
Well, that brings me back to the point. How did it get like that? Are we originally like that? Were we like that in the 70s? Were the Black women like that in the 70s? Were there YNs in the 20s? How did it happen to get like that? So
well, the answer to your question is very simple. No, Black people are actually very, very conservative, more conservative than they believe they are. The values are pretty conservative. It's only as of recent, obviously. But yeah, the answer to your question is, there were no YNs in 1920.
Right. So now, how did it get like that? That's my question, right? How did we create ourselves like that? Are we naturally born to steal, or is stealing part of poverty? And who controls who's oppressed or not? You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about our position and where we are right now, you have to acknowledge who put us here, right? The mindset that what's his name, Anton Daniels.
Yep.
I don't know if you share the same mindset. It sounds similar, right? But the mindset that he has is abandoned ship mentality, right? So we have a ship that was mighty. It has been destroyed by an opposing ship, okay? And it has holes in it. It has patches in it. We didn't create the holes. We didn't shoot the holes in it. But some other ship shot the holes in it. Now, instead of fixing the holes that we have and acknowledging where the bullets are coming from so we can further defend ourselves, some men like Antoine would rather abandon ship, and that's the defeat. The people that you say are complaining are not conceding to defeat. The people that are going the other way and saying, you know what, we are complaining, you guys are doing this, that, or you are conceding defeat, meaning you no longer want your ship. You don't care where your ship came from. We are many members of one body. So you say, well, it happened in the past, right? Well, if you've ever been beat up or punched in the face at some point, the punch leaves a bruise, right? So you got a left leg and a right leg. Your right leg is stronger than your left leg. And in the midst of that butt whooping, your right leg gets broken. The left leg cannot say to the right leg, well, why are you complaining? We got whooped. Why are you not moving like we are? The left leg is not bruised. But when the left leg chooses to separate from the body and be somebody else's left leg, the body's dead. We cannot further move. So that's going back to acknowledge. I always say, why? How did it get there? Because I agree, a lot of the women are like that, but they're not originally like that. It take us to fix it.
Yeah.
We got to fix it. We can't abandon ship.
Yeah, and right there with what you were just talking about, yeah, I don't think it's a form of discrimination. I think it's a form of discrimination. Give me Tobit chapter 4 and verse 12.
Man, I had that pulled up. That's a beautiful thing.
You want to get it? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Give me Tobit 4 and verse 12, because when you mess with anything outside of your race, God literally calls it hate. Just like the scripture we just read in Leviticus about not hating thy brother in thy heart. This marrying and dating outside of your race is hatred, is discrimination. not discrimination. Go ahead.
Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 12.
Come on.
Beware of all whoredom, my son.
Come on.
And chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers.
Chiefly means seriously. You say seriously take a wife of your own. Come on.
And take not a strange woman to wife.
The strange women are all other nations outside of ours.
Which is not of thy father's tribe.
Which is not of thy father's tribe. Pull up the 12 tribes chart.
For we are the children
Wait a minute, man. Pull it up. Now read that again.
And take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe.
Which is not of thy father's tribe. Now, what you got your eyes on right there, what your eyes is beautifully beholding is the 12 tribes of Israel. You could take a wife of any one of these here tribes here.
Yeah.
So you got Judah, which is the American black woman.
Right. You don't want to mess with that one.
He said swipe left.
Yeah. He said.
Well, I mean,
Put it back
to be
up, bro.
You got my previous girlfriend was actually Puerto Rican, so I guess
Right.
Yeah,
There you go.
We getting there.
Good there.
We
you
getting
go.
there. Put the tribe.
So I mean, she was a little bit of white and a little bit of Puerto Rican. So I mean, I don't know.
Listen, bro. If her pops was from Puerto Rico, she's Puerto Rican from the tribe of Ephraim. You know what I mean? This is that's
I think it was actually her dad that was Puerto Rican. So.
right. So what we and you gonna get right back, bro. I'm sorry. What we trying to tell you is do that 12 tribes chart.
Put it back up.
Yeah, because see, Rodane, listen, you our brother. We love you. We got to get you right. We got to get you away from them Edomites, bro. Listen, you see these women right here? You got all the flavors, bro. All the flavors. You got the big booty. You got flat booties. You got straight hair. You got kinky hair. You got dark skin to light skin, bro. You got all the flavors. You don't need to be going across the Becky and them, bro. You just chill right here and pick you out one of these, man.
Yeah.
And take them back to pops and moms, man.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Now go back to the scripture and read it again.
Yeah.
And take not a strange woman to wife.
Don't take nothing strange, man. That red woman is strange, man.
Yeah.
That Indian woman is strange, man. Come on.
Which is not of thy father's tribe.
Which is not of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Come on.
For we are the children of the prophets.
Wait a minute. It says we are the children of the prophets. That's like taking a gold medallion, right? That goes around the chain and putting it on the shoestring and putting it around your neck.
Right.
It don't go. It don't fit. It's too heavy. That you gonna die. Go ahead.
Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning
of time,
even that they all married wives of their own kindred.
They all married wives of our own kindred. We all married wives of our own kindred.
I'm sorry, bro. I apologize.
Yeah, go ahead.
But that part right there where it says from the beginning, right? Adam, he got married to a wife of his own kindred. Why? Because the Lord took the rib out of him.
Yes.
And then created a wife. Why? So his wife is going to be of him, of his own flesh.
Yeah.
When you read in Genesis 1, that's in Genesis 2, it says that flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone.
Right.
Right? Why? Because that's what the Lord has is important for us to stay together as a people. We have to love our people, bro. And marrying our people is love. You know what I mean? Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Read.
Even that they all married wives of their own kindred.
Come on.
And were blessed
and
their.
And were what?
And were blessed.
And were what?
And were blessed.
So it's a blessing.
Yes.
God blesses us when we marry inside of our own nation, our own kindred. Come on.
In their children. And their seed shall inherit the land.
Why would we be blessed in our children? Because they wouldn't veering off serving other gods.
Right.
Like we read in Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 3. Their mind was focused on the Lord. Come on.
Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren.
Wait, do what?
Love thy brethren.
When you marry inside of your nation, you do what?
Love thy brethren.
You love your brethren.
Yes.
The opposite of what we just read in Leviticus, which is hating thy brethren. When you marry inside of the 12 tribes, the scriptures say you love your brethren.
Yes,
Go ahead.
Yes.
And despise not in thine heart thy brethren.
And you do not hate in your mind your brethren when you marry inside.
Right.
When you go outside and take one of them strange women and you don't want to pick up the hammer and the socket wrench and fix the hole in the boat like Judah said, you hate that causes us to hate our people.
Yeah.
When we talk that trash, that discrimination, the discriminate, when you talk that goes against your people. That's hatred towards your people, man. You got to see that.
Hey, and I'm sorry, you were gonna say something? Rodane?
Please, let's hear it.
Hey, listen, man. I completely understand where you guys are coming from, but I just don't think, marrying outside my race, or if that were a thing, or to date other women with a different color, doesn't mean that I hate my race. If anything, the reason why I hold Black people accountable is because I want us to be better. I mean, like I said at the top of the show, I don't think a lot of Black Americans understand like the power and control they could get or gain, or how much better the community can be, in general, if they just go together. Like the Jewish example is perfect. Like that dollar goes to another Jew. Like it doesn't go to another race, right? So it's all about unity. But like you said, we're all apart now. But I think the first stage is holding people accountable. I mean, you think about when you're raising a child, you don't give them everything that they want. You hold them accountable, even though you're you might not. When I was growing up, I used to get licks, right?
Oh yeah.
I used to get beat with the belt.
Of course.
But it's not that my parents hate me.
No.
Right? It's because they see potential in me and they want me to be better. So
Yeah.
the only reason why I criticize the Black community is because there's no reason to not be better, and they can be better. So I don't necessarily think that dating outside my race or marrying a woman outside my race, which in today's economy, getting married is probably a bad idea. But it's not. It doesn't mean I hate my race, and I don't believe that.
Okay, well, you don't have to believe it, but God said it.
Yeah,
That's why we're reading it to you.
Right.
So if Bishop McKenzie was here, right, Bishop McKenzie would say, well, listen, let me go take a look at that now. You know what I'm saying? He might not ever heard that scripture before. You know what I mean? But I want to show you something, right? I want to show you something out of a history book, right? Brothers, pull up number 12, okay? Pull up number 12. This is a book called Jacobites Gleaning, right? This is a great book. Yeah, just pull that up. All right. Click on that thing and open it up. All right. And so in this, right, because we showed that, so the West Indies, or the people of the West Indies of the Caribbean, known as the tribe of Benjamin, right? We're going to show you in this history book, right, something you're gonna trip out when you see this, bro. Brothers, what's going on?
Bring it up.
Can't take forever, man. Let's get it.
On.
That
all right.
Wouldn't do what.
Scroll all the way to 46. What is that playing in the background? Hey, scroll to page 46. 46. Okay.
Zoom in a little bit.
All right. Read the highlight.
Can y'all zoom in?
I can read it.
All right, it's fine. I got it. All right. So I'm reading the highlighted part. It says, accordingly, letters were promised on 26th March 1747 to be sent to the various governors named regarding the powers of the contractors, and stating that the prisoners were transported for the term of their natural lives, and that they must...
Hold on, I'm sorry. Take it from the top. We got to read that top part. The one that's not highlighted. That's important. Read that.
At the top. Samuel Smith wrote on 25th March 1746, seeking permission... Asking permission to have letters from His Grace the Duke of Newcastle, Secretary of State, to the governors of the Leeward Islands, Barbados, Jamaica, Maryland, and Virginia, setting forth the powers given to the contractors over the rebels.
So, hold on. The rebels they talk, leave that up. Do not move that. The rebels that they're talking about there is our people, okay? And what they're trying to do is send these people to those different places, right? Which is Jamaica, Barbados, Maryland, Virginia, okay, and the Leeward Islands. Go ahead.
And recommending the contractors to the governors of these places.
You could jump down to the highlighted part. I just want to read that first.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Accordingly, letters were promised on 26th March 1747 to be sent to the various governors named regarding the powers of the contractors, and stating that the prisoners were transported for the term of their natural lives, and that they must enter into indentures. If they refused to do so, they were to be treated as if they had, and a sufficient military guard was to be placed over them. The first record of transportation in this rebellion was of 47 rebels shipped at Liverpool on 26 April 1746 for the plantations. These were transported to Montserrat in June, but 2 died on the passage.
Go ahead.
Next page.
Yep. I want you to go to jump down to page 48. Go ahead.
All right. Was Barbara
No. An exact list.
Okay. An exact list and description of 150 rebel prisoners shipped at Liverpool on board the veteran John Rickey, master for the Leeward Islands, which were taken near Antigua the 28th June last by the diamond privateer Paul Marcel, commander, and carried into Martinico the 30th June 1747.
Right, so they were taken into the West Indies, into the Caribbean. Go ahead, read the list of these people.
All right, number 1, Robert Adam. Number 2.
No. Read it across. The age, the whole thing.
Robert Adam, age 18, profession laborer, county Sterling, stature 5'1". Remarks: brown, smooth faced.
Stop. So, Rodane, right here, what they're doing is showing you who these slaves are, right? That's our people. Okay, coming out of where? Liverpool, right? You know that. Have you ever lived in England?
Yeah, I lived in England for a year.
Okay,
so I know where that area is.
Right.
Weird,
Okay.
Weird accent.
Right.
Scouse accent.
Yeah, it is weird. It is weird. But look at the list of these people, right? I want you to just stay with remarks and just go down and look at the skin color, skin texture, all that. Read down.
Black, curled hair, strong made.
Right.
Brown, complex, well made, ruddy.
Meaning young. Go ahead.
Black, ruddy, healthy.
Right. So what we're showing you is that the list of all of these names of the people were the ones that were brought into the West Indies as slaves. They call them rebels, right? Now, watch this. I want you to go to hold on. Go to page 50. Go to page 50 and look at 105.
What's that?
Read 105.
105. Gino McKenzie.
Oh, yo, Rodane, there go your people, bro. Go ahead.
22. Gentleman. Rossshire. 5'10". Well made. Genteel.
Genteel. Yo, we could drop that for now. Hey, Rodane. You can drop that, y'all. Rodane. I wanted to bring up that McKenzie for you, right? Remember when we read earlier up where it said Jamaica, right? Now, a lot of our people were taken out of Ireland, Scotland, England, into slavery, right into the West Indies. We didn't even come out of Africa, right? We were taken out of those places because we were ruling Europe for 1,000 years. Did you know that? Did our people rule Europe for 1,000 years?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. For some reason, I think I might have some Scottish ties, but I still yet to find those. But I've heard that I have some Scottish ties somewhere.
Yeah, most likely, right? Most likely, and a lot from Ireland went in. So when you see these names, McKenzie and all of this, we were thinking, oh, those are the slave names, but that were actually the names of the slaves, because that was our thing. When white people came in and took over, they just took over the names as well. They took over the names. They took over the history, right? We could show you stuff a little bit later with our people actually in the castles in Germany, Britain, Spain. It's outrageous. So the point of bringing all of this up, and we got to show it to you before you go, we're bringing this up to let you know that the white people, what we see going on today is just not happenstance. It's not something that's just happening because we're all here, we don't get along. We've been fighting with these people from the beginning. Right. We've always been fighting white people from the beginning, okay? And we're going to show you some. Hey, bring up that Dark Ages picture with them fighting them in the castle. This is in the 1200s, right? Wait till you see this, right? This is a tapestry that was done way back then. Y'all know what I'm talking about? All right, bring that up real quick for Rodane. We're showing you this stuff, bro, because people don't teach this. They don't teach it in school. Our parents don't know it, right? Because we weren't taught it. We taught it when we came into the truth. When we became, well, you know, we don't like to say became Israelites because it sounds like a religion. It's not really a religion. It's just us. We're coming back to our nationality. When we came in, our teachers, our elders, Bishop Nathaniel, right, amongst others, taught us this. This is when we got this information. And these are books that are hidden in plain sight, brother. These are like regular books sitting around and nobody knows. And all our history is in them. All right, bring that up real quick for my brother. Right? Hey, listen, I keep telling y'all, bring up the one with the text on it. Why y'all bringing up these ridiculous? All right. Okay.
Can you zoom in?
Yeah, zoom in so we can read it. Okay. Read 75.
Okay. 75. Charlemagne's siege of Agen. Chroniques de France. Full 168. France, second quarter, 14th century. London, British Library.
Okay, scroll up so you can see the actual tapestry. All right, stop. All right, so there goes the castle, Rodane. And who's in the castle? Our people. Okay? Fighting against who? White people. We didn't do this. This tapestry was made way back then, bro, in the 1300s. We've always been fighting them from the beginning, from the biblical times in Genesis 25. We'll get that for you. Yeah. But we want you to see something. If you, hey, brothers, just do a close-up on that shield. Right? That shield right there is a lion on it because that's the tribe of Judah. Okay? These people already knew they was Israelites. They wasn't living a righteous lifestyle. They weren't, right? They were rough and tough guys and all of that, right? They were ruling and all of that, so we know what it was. But the point is, this was our people. We ruled from around 700 and change all the way into the 1400s, okay? So this is an actual fact. So we've been fighting white people the entire time. So when they put us into slavery now, that's why they did what they did to us. This is an ongoing war, my brother. This is not nothing that's just happening to black Americans or whatever. This is happening. The only reason, y'all can drop that, right? In the Caribbean, right, the white people fled. They left us there and then put, you know, the East Indians there or whatever. But most white people is not in the West Indies anymore. Why? Because when the Haitians revolted, they were the first ones to set it off. And in the West Indies, they set it off as well. And with the rest of the, with what you know is the Maroons, okay? And the Maroons were in Jamaica, Grenada, Trinidad, Barbados, all these places. They would hide up in the mountains, come down, kill white people, take all their stuff. It was so crazy, they got up out of there. But America was the only place, when they made this place big, they held on to the black Americans. They held them tight. This is the tribe of Judah. It's very spiritual what's going on here, my brothers. It's spiritual. It's not just happening. You know what I mean? That's what we want to bring to you. You know? So like when everything is important, even even a woman that you marry. And you made good points because a lot of our sisters, they're very rude, they're very disrespectful, right? But they have to be trained. You know what I'm saying? For lack of a better word, they have to be retrained, right? So like with our organization, when the sisters come in, they come in with the same big mouth. But inside here, they gotta shut the hell up. Right. We tell them, hey, sis, shut the hell up. We're going to read this Bible. You're going to be quiet and learn. And that's what they do. Then after a while, they said, okay, cool. Now I'm gonna hold myself together. We tell them this is the dress code of the Lord. This is what the Lord is bringing. And based on that, they start to change their ways, right? Now brothers can marry them. And we got, and listen, the brothers is crazy as hell too, bro. It ain't like, you know, black men is walking around nice guys. They crazy as hell. So when they come in, we gotta fix them. We have to fix each other. Yes. Right? Yes. But we hold each other accountable. Yes. That's and I like what you say. Don't get me wrong, bro. You know, I think you're a very smart young man. You got a lot going for you. And the accountability is very important. We hold each other accountable. Yes. Real talk. We hold each other very accountable. We don't want to do nothing in front of each other. We got to watch our P's and Q's because this man going to tell. Right? We can't go and it ain't like in the street where we go, hey, listen, man, I met this girl last night. You know, don't tell my wife. No. Yeah. That happens here? Oh, we're telling everybody. Everybody's getting told we got to deal with this. What are you doing? You commit adultery? We got to deal with this. You see what I'm saying? That's being held accountable. That's walking right. Look at this, Rodane. This is all the marriage. I mean, we got countless marriages, bro. And what we do is we put it online, the actual ceremony, so people can see what we got going on here. We're not playing no games. We bringing the family back together, right? So guess what? Rodane, we got brothers in here that had the same mindset as you. Yeah. They had the same mindset, bro. They didn't want to have nothing to do with black people. They say, yo, man, to hell with that. I'm getting my money. I'm getting me my little white chick or whatever. I ain't got time for this niggerdom. I don't have no time for niggatry. No, real talk. They heard it and they came in and was like, all right, man, I got to change. You know what I'm saying? And they started to love their people again. Trust me. I never got to that point to where I really didn't like my people like that. But there was a time when I was going after money all the time, business. And I'm like, yo, I got to go for the green, man. Literally, I remember in my head saying, yo, this ain't about no racism out here, man. It's just about money. I got to a certain level. That's how I started thinking. But that was retarded because guess what? I got smashed by racism. I lost all my bread over racism. Then it came back to me like, oh, damn. Oh, yeah, it's still alive. So when I heard you say, oh, racism not around no more, I was like, oh, my God, this guy's about to go down that road, man. Bruh, it's here, alive and kicking. Alive and kicking.
I understand you guys' point of view, but I just don't think, you know, in 2026 today that, you know, there's no excuses. I mean,
there's none.
It ain't.
There's no excuses. There's endless opportunities. There's no reason, you know, for, you know, anybody of any race. I mean, we don't even have to keep this around black people. Anybody of any race should, you know, it just baffles me. Again, you know, like I said, you know, I'm not technically, I was born here, right? But, you know, I am of, you know, Caribbean descent. So
right.
I just don't understand, you know, the people who are born here, you know, they have the resources, you know, and they start out, you know, I mean, the immigration problem that we have in America is a perfect example as to, you know, privilege is invisible to those who have it. You know, there are literally people who are dying to come here, literally dying on trucks, you know, being trafficked illegally to be here. Right. And, you know, you have to take advantage of the opportunity that you have. And I don't think, you know, I think a lot of, you know, black people in America, they use the system as an excuse. And I just don't think, you know, that's a viable excuse. And, you know, that's definitely something, you know, that I hold dear to my heart is, you know, I especially, you know, as a standard that I hold for myself. You never, ever catch me just sitting down, not doing anything. It always has to do with something productive. And I wouldn't say, you know, I hate my people. I mean, these people, you know, black Americans, like I said, they call me a tether, they call me a coon, whatever. They don't really consider me one of them because obviously, you know, I'm from Caribbean descent. But man, I just don't understand, you know, how other people can come here. You know, Nigerians, you know, they have, if I'm not mistaken, Nigerians are like one of the top 3, you know, highest performing people when they come here.
100%.
And that's just because, you know, they don't have that victim mindset. And that's something that I really think is killing the black community in America is the victim mindset. And once we get rid of that, and obviously the father's back in the home, which I agree with you. You know, the welfare system, like I said, Civil Rights Act, welfare system ruined black families. Obviously, we know what happened with that. But we've got to recuperate, right? We've got to, you know, do to hell with that and, you know, come back together, as you say, reunite. But at the end of the day, it's all about accountability, right? You know, and that's just what it is. So I don't think, you know, all this stuff is a good excuse, you know, victim mentality, the system, this, system, that. I don't like hearing it.
Yeah, that's cool.
It hurts my soul.
When you don't like to hear that, you gotta not like to hear dating white women. You gotta not like to hear.
I don't like to hear that.
You gotta not like to hear all of the stuff that helped create us to have that mindset. You gotta not like it all because guess what? These holidays that they celebrate, those all play a part in why we have that mindset. Marrying and dating outside of our race help frame that mindset. All of these, you just can't say one and be against one part of it. You got to be all as a whole because we lost all of our everything that was valuable unto us and everything that was tangible unto us because of racism, whether we like it or not. But if you don't like to hear it, you got to do something positive about it. So that ain't no excuse,
right?
You get what I'm saying? And that is the not dating outside of your race. This is just hatred, period, point blank. God said it first, right? It's not celebrating anything that they celebrate because everything that they celebrate is wicked. It's evil. Yeah. Scriptures say don't follow nothing that these heathens do.
Right.
It say, envy thou not the oppressor and choose none of his ways.
Right.
That means none of them. So if you don't like the excuse, you gotta put on your big boy pants and do what's needed.
Yeah, and leave
be
pink
that
toes
good
alone.
example, bro.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta leave the pink toes alone, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you can't be chasing them pink toes around, bro.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, that's one thing I made a mission not to do. I don't chase women.
Hey, listen, bro. I understand all that. I ain't even saying you chasing women, but what you want to go after, bro. There's plenty. Listen, bro. There's a lot of education. Listen, I'm not just saying education is good on a woman, because sometimes they get educated and they get too flighty, right? They're not even they're out of control, right? But in regards to there are some decent sisters out there, like the white woman that you're gonna go find and try to deal with. Why wouldn't you just deal with a sister? You know what I mean? And rebuild a family, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got. Do you have any children?
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he's laughing. Yeah, bro.
Laughing.
Yeah, this man laughing like, bro, I ain't trying to have no kids, bro. Listen.
No,
I don't know,
no,
bro. I don't know what kind of Jamaican don't have no children, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my grandfather had 13 of them, so I understand.
Exactly. You know how it is, man. You just wake up one morning, you got a baby next to you. It's like, what the hell is this? Yeah. All right. Them children coming, bro. Right. But but look. Check this out. We want to show you another video, and we want to show you these things because this is like the kind of arena that you're in, right? And I know you know these people. Now, this guy is what's this that police guy, Tatum? You heard of him?
Yeah, Officer Tatum. Yeah,
Officer Tatum. This guy is a complete coon. This is coonery. Watch this, bro. And I know you don't like the word coon, right? We don't like to call out people.
Wait, I don't care. I freedom of speech is the thing there.
Okay,
like,
cool. Because I heard you.
Yeah,
because you was even saying that white people, they don't say nigga no more. White people say nigga every day. They love it. They love it.
I don't, and that is why I don't care about it, because
right.
a lot of these black people, they think the white liberal, right? They're not gonna say. These people say it behind your back. So and the reason why I know is because, quite frankly, I went to high school with these people, right? You know, Connecticut, New York is a very, very blue state, right?
Yep.
It's a lot of liberals up there. They say these words. So I don't get offended, right? You know, if a white person calls me the N-word, right? Is it a moral thing to do? No, but is it technically wrong to do? I mean, they do have the right to say it. So who am I to, get an assault charge or get, offended by a word? I'm not going to let a word have power over me. So I freedom of speech is a thing for a reason.
Right.
And that's why,
I wouldn't say
the United States is one of the greatest countries ever. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't say get into a fight over it. If you could walk away from it, walk away from it. Depends on how you feel. I'm just saying that now. Hopefully it don't happen to me. I don't know how I'm going to react. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, might have to.
Yeah, the last time that happened,
you might have to give him some skin.
Yeah. I was younger.
Backhand.
I was younger, and somebody made a mistake. But play number 8. Play number 8. Play number 8, man. Let's get our guy Tatum on. He's on here with your guy. We're not even gonna say his name. Go ahead, hit play.
Black liberal. Of course I'm gonna vote for the Democrats, although they've done nothing for black people. I'm a black liberal. Although I'm the CEO of a 7-figure company, of course I'm a victim. I'm a black liberal. I hate racism, except if it's against the Jews. Free Palestine. I'm a black liberal. With no evidence whatsoever, of course I think the cops gonna kill me for no reason. I'm a black liberal. Although I'm married to a white woman, of course the white man is the enemy.
Well done, Brandon. God bless you.
Black liberal.
See that? Drop that, right? So he had the enemy saying good boy. Tapped him on his head.
The enemy.
Yeah, the enemy. The enemy. And he tapped him on his head and said good boy. You know what I mean? Bro. Listen, find that quote. I think it was on Mugabe or one of the leaders in Africa who said, if the enemy is happy with you, that means you're doing something wrong. I'm misquoting it. Yeah. But pull up find that thing. If we at this stage of the game got somebody like that guy who we just showed, who I refuse to say his name, saying, "Oh, God bless you, good," bro, that means I'm going in the wrong direction. Right. That man was disrespecting our people left, right, and center. Not only was he disrespectful, but he was lying. Those numbers he was bringing out, false. And people didn't say nothing about it. I said, yo, this guy's lying. Oh, black people did this and that. Oh, black people kill white people. Bro, what are you talking about? That's outrageous. Nobody's even around y'all. You see, when people talk about black on black crime, that's kind of dumb, right? We use it just to say, hey, don't kill your own people. But black people live around black people, so that's why they get into problems. White people live around white people. They kill each other. The Chinese live amongst each other. They kill each other. If you go to Chinese neighborhood and find out the murder rate and who killed them, there's going to be another Chinese guy killed them. They're the ones that's in the neighborhood with each other having beef. It's no Chinese guy leaving from his neighborhood to go to white people's neighborhood and kill them. The only time you see white people killing black people in their neighborhood is when they're police, when they're getting pulled over. That's the type of stuff you see. If you go into their neighborhood, it's a possibility you might not make it up out of there. It's just a reality, right? They say the same, like, oh, we going to black neighborhoods. When are white people in black neighborhoods? When is this going on? When does this happen, bro? It doesn't. Okay? And 9 out of 10, if a white person go into a black person neighborhood, black people scared to death of white people. For real. They will slap 10 black people before they hit a white person any day of the week.
Yeah.
And you know that. Not me, but a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. That's how it is. So when we see things like this, bro, right? What do you, oh, you know what? We forgot to ask the magic question. Because you said you were born here, right? So now let me ask you this. Do you vote? If you don't, it's fine.
I've never voted. Okay. Honestly, in my opinion, I think Trump was a better candidate. Okay. But I didn't vote. Okay. I do think Trump was a less evil. I mean, obviously, we know how politicians operate in this country, but right. Yeah, I just think, Kamala wasn't. I don't know. That was a horrible option for the Democratic Party.
Terrible.
But yeah, Trump was the better option. If I would have voted, it would probably have been for Trump. Yeah, I think Kamala was just not fit for the office. They would have had a better chance, had they had somebody competent.
Okay. But the reason I ask you about voting is because, there's no sense in us voting. It doesn't help anything, right? They pick the president. The president is selected, right? There's no election of any president. The presidents are all elected. It's what's known in the electoral college. So they pick the presidents, right? But I just wanted to see how far you were as far as politics was concerned, if you were really involved in that or really entrenched. I know you speak on certain things, like I saw you comment on the ICE situation with the young woman that was killed up there, I think 2 weeks ago, things like that, right? So I just kind of wanted to get your take on that. But since you don't vote, it's kind of different, right? You just like kind of commenting on things that go on, right?
Yeah, I mean, because both parties are, for less of a better word, it's a lot of evil things that go on in both parties, right?
Sure.
So I've never voted before. The first time I was ever eligible to vote, I think I've never voted. I just, both parties are, I think it's pretty much stupid to call yourself either Republican or a Democrat. But I will say, though, in terms of the black community, the Democratic Party has done damage, and it still amazes me how I think that the number is about 80 to 90% of the Democratic votes every single election is black. So that I don't understand, especially after what Lyndon B. Johnson said. But there's certain things that just can't be explained.
Right. Well, you know what it is. What it is that our people are moving like robots. They're not thinking, right? They were told that they're Democratic, so that's what they keep doing. They keep voting Democratic, right? You brought out something about the liberals, right? It's funny because the Bible talks about that, literally. And get Isaiah chapter 32 and 5. We're gonna read something. You're gonna agree with it. This one you're gonna agree with. You didn't agree with the white women, but you're gonna agree with this. This is right up your alley. Right? Watch this.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the white liberal is, one of the just not even just for black people in general, just for the country, United States in general. I mean, they vote for open borders. They vote for things that literally are even abortion, right? Which is one of the biggest killers in the black community.
Absolutely.
Who put that in place? You know what I mean? So
right.
And that was definitely something that was treacherous. So a lot of people don't understand what the role of the white liberal is, and like I said before, there's a reason why we have an MLK Day, but we don't have a Malcolm X Day, because Malcolm X knew what it was, right? He spoke out against that stuff, and that's what got him killed. So
right, no, absolutely. Go ahead, Isaiah 32 and 5. Watch this.
Isaiah chapter 32 verse 5. The vile person shall be no more called liberal.
Right. The vile person shall no more be called liberal. This is the Lord saying when he come back, you're not going to be able to call yourself a liberal when you're really a villain. That's what it's saying. Go ahead.
Nor the churl said to be bountiful.
Go ahead.
For the vile person will speak villainy.
Right.
And his heart will work iniquity.
Sin. Go ahead.
To practice hypocrisy.
Right. To practice hypocrisy. Right. To say one thing and then what? Oh, yeah, let's have an abortion. Oh, no. We want we need the rights to it. Kill your baby. Right? Go ahead.
And to utter error against the Lord.
Right. Go ahead.
To make empty the soul of the hungry. And he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail.
Go ahead.
The instruments also of the churl are evil.
Right. So the instruments of them are evil. Right? Like you were saying, they were doing a lot of evil things. They doing a lot of treacherous things. Right? Go ahead.
He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words.
With lying words. Go ahead.
Even when the needy speaketh right.
Right. So when people out there trying to, we need more rights for this, we need more better paying jobs, so on and so forth, they just lying to these people. Oh, yeah, we're going to get that done for you. We're going to do this and do that. Nothing happens. Right? Go ahead.
But the liberal deviseth liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand.
Right. So so the Lord talks about those liberals. You're right. Now, you just mentioned something about open borders, right? Now, I remember, well, I don't remember, I wasn't born, but when my family came here, right, I think at that time you had to have somebody send for you. I forgot how it went, but a person was here and then they would come and send for you, boom, and they came, and then both my parents were here, boom, they had me, so on and so forth, and then they became citizens much later, right? So probably the same for your parents. They probably did the same thing. Came, I don't know if they became citizens, but you get your green card, alien status, whatever the case may be. Now, you got a situation where Trump and ICE, they literally deported a brother who was born here and his parents were from Jamaica. Now, I think he's since come back. But this is the foolishness that's going on, right? Where they could just take a guy and say, oh, well, if they feel like it, they can take it there. Because look what they were doing. They doing to black Americans, who we call the tribe of Judah, who was known as the tribe of Judah. They were running them out of buildings, ICE. So this whole ICE thing and what America does is always against our people. Now, we've seen a couple white people getting killed by ICE, right? But that's because they're getting involved. They we don't know what the whole story is behind ICE. We're going to do a show on them, and that's a whole wicked situation in itself. But how do you feel about, let's say, people from the Caribbean outside? Because we know that the whole ICE so-called was set up for the so-called Mexicans, which is the tribe of Issachar, was set up for them. Really, that's what they said, right? But in New York, in them East Coast cities, you have Jewish people who are illegals, and they're living there with no problem. ICE is not going to get them. What you feel about that?
Well, I'll just say this because what platform were you on?
What platform? We on YouTube, bro.
All right. Well, I'll just say, just to because I don't want to get you banned or anything.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we know what's going on. In terms of there's a certain country that dictates a lot of what America does. And it's been very evident, with 9/11, things like that. But like I said, for the sake of not getting you banned, that's where I'll leave that.
Right.
But we know what's going on, right? We know who affects what goes on in our government. We know. I mean, they've literally come out and said, I'm pretty sure I'm fine saying this, but they've literally come out and said, if you are not in support of, that certain country or those people, then you can't get into office. Yeah. So, and it's literally a thing. If you do not support that nation, or you're not that nation first instead of America first, then you're cooked. I mean, it was very surprising to me, even though I think Mamdani in New York City is a communist, right? But, it was the reason why he won that election is because I watched the video and I couldn't believe my eyes. They asked every single mayoral candidate, what country is the first country you would go to if you won this election? And every single one of them said that country in the Middle East.
Right.
Mamdani was the only person who said, I'm going to stay in New York. And that is the reason why he won the election.
Right.
That is literally the reason why he won the election. So, I understand, what's going on. But yeah, we know who runs this country.
Right. And listen, I know we kept you for a while, right?
That's no problem.
Okay. I gotta show you another one, right? Our good friend Anton. I gotta keep going to this guy, right? Because now this one we're gonna take a few minutes to go through this stuff because he was talking a bunch of foolishness. This was unreal. Bring up 13, right? Just to show you that we have a guy Anton who's doing well, right, on the platforms and social media, right? A lot of content creators such as yourself and others, they give him a lot of props, right? They give him a lot of kudos for the work that he does. They always say he got a good work ethic. He's putting stuff out there, right? But if he's talking like this, why do we need him to talk at all, right? Start at 6 minutes, y'all. Start at 6 minutes, video 13. And we'll be pausing and, dealing with it. All right? Video number 13, 6 minutes.
What do you feel about this nation as they jack other nations for their resources and play it off like it's other reasons? I'm talking about this nation, the U.S.
That's the part of the game.
When you say the part of the game, I don't understand.
Everybody done been conquered. Slavery didn't exist way before we ever came in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see what the problem is.
Well, I tell you like this. I cannot respect men who are claim jackers. Like I don't
like what? Give me an example.
Like the United States.
No, give me an example, like a real life thing. Like what did they take?
The United States.
Like yo, hit pause. He said, I don't like guys who are claim jackers. He said, give me an example. He said the United States. He's like, no, the United States. They stole that.
Right.
Yeah. Anton don't know that? They took the country. That's what he's trying to say. Go ahead, hit play.
This country?
Not just taking this country. How do you think you got here?
The transatlantic slave trade.
You're a smart man.
Right. I studied it. I know all about it.
So it's very hard to be respectful of what is here when me, for example, as an African-American male, I know how I got here. I didn't take the cheap flight on Frontier here. My people were kidnapped. My people were robbed. They what?
They were sold by Africans.
You say all the people were sold by Africans?
How you think what you think white people came over there and got us?
Yes.
No, they were sold.
So
they just capitalized off of it better than the Africans did.
Okay, so you're saying that all of the black people that were brought here were sold by Africans.
Correct.
So the white people were just doing transactions over there.
Absolutely. It was capitalism.
See,
the thing about white people.
Hit pause real quick, right? Now, what we brought out earlier, right, Rodane, showing that, and don't drop the video, right, showing that our people were being taken from other places, right, England, so on and so forth, into slavery. There was no Africans over there selling them into slavery, right? What we're trying to tell you is that Anton doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He does not know anything. He just talks out of his behind. He knows nothing, right? If you let him keep talking, he's probably going to say our people sold us. But one thing, I like what he's saying. He's saying Africans because our people are not the Nilotes or the true Africans. So, yes, Africans did sell us to white people. But what? We were prisoners of war. They went and got us. They did come for us. But hit play.
Think about white people. you think that racism is inherently in them. Racism is inherently in all of us.
What?
Black people is some of the most racist people I've ever seen in my entire life.
What?
We don't even like each other.
So can I ask you a question?
No, hold on. Let's stay there.
Okay.
We don't even like each other. And so black people participate. Some of the first slavers in the United States of America was black people.
Yo, hit pause. Hit pause. He's
a parakeet.
That is a load of garbage.
Yeah, he parakeeted.
The first slavers in America was black. What is this guy talking about?
He's parakeeting.
Hey, I want y'all to just drop the video for a second. I want to speak to Rodane, but we're going to come right back. Rodane, do you believe any of what this man said? You know that's not real, right?
Well, in terms of the first slavers being, black people, I'm not too sure of that. But what I will agree with him on there is that, in terms of, I absolutely agree with him that black people today are some of the most racist people. I mean, it's there. I mean, you see the stuff they put out online, calling white people crackers. All these things, right? This is theirs for everybody to see on the internet. Now, is it more acceptable Yes, because obviously black people went through slavery. So a lot of white people are really, really scared to say things because they're, scared of being called a racist, right? But there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that black people today are some of the most racist people in the world. Like it's not
people?
even it's not even close. Like it's not even close. It's not even close.
Wait a minute.
Now, am I saying that other races are not racist? Obviously, no. Like white people have been racist since the beginning of time. And one thing I've always said is, if you're of the mindset that racism one day is not going to exist, then you're just not realistic with life. Like that's it's something that is taught, right? There's some people who are racist. They teach their kids the same thing, but I do agree with Anton there that black people today are some of the most racist people. I think that's true because we are allowed to get away with it, and people are not going to call out the BS because they're going to be called racist. So I definitely agree with him on that right there. That black people are some of the most racist people. On the other part about being the first slavers, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's complete garbage. And also what's complete garbage is that we the most racist. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, for instance, right? We read some scriptures tonight, right? When we read these scriptures on the street, people say, oh, that's racist, right? We say, listen, that's the Bible. You have that Bible in your house. We didn't write the Bible. The Lord said, stay with your own. Don't marry outside of your people, right? Now, if a white man comes out and says that, we're going to say that man is racist, correct?
Absolutely. It always happens.
Right. But I'm telling you, we saying it. Don't marry outside of your race. Why are we saying it? Because the Bible said it. Previous to that, I would have never, I didn't really care what people was doing, but I'm telling you that what the Bible says is don't marry outside of your race, right?
Now, that's fine. But what I'm saying is like, it's become more of an acceptable thing for black people to say whatever the hell they want. I mean, it's just,
I understand that. You're right.
Exactly. And listen,
but saying
I actually have no problem with it. My problem is when black people get mad at white people for saying things like, if you want to be able to say whatever you want, other people have to have that said right. Because I really don't care. Freedom of speech is a thing. You can call me a coon, you call me the N-word. I really don't care. It's not going to really affect me. I don't really let my emotions get the best of me. As long as you're not posing a physical harm or threat to me, I'm good. Like you can hurl and call me the hard R, tell me I deserve to be lynched. I really don't care. It really doesn't affect me. As long as you're not putting me or my potential family that I may have in the future, or my mom, my people that I love in danger, you're not inciting violence, I really don't care. You have the right to say whatever the hell you want. I just have a problem with when black people cannot take what they're dishing out, which is, some white people just don't want to live around black people, and some black people, like you said at the top of the show, they're scared, shitless of, white people. They won't even touch them. So I just think that, that's what the case is. And I 100% agree with Anton there that, black people, when it comes to being racist, probably top 3 in America.
Yes, that's real
close.
Crazy. All right, hold on.
It's not even close.
All right. Let's play the rest of this video. Bring that video back up, man.
I think I'm lagging on my end.
That's
I don't
the
know
truth.
if you're seeing that, but
what I'm trying to understand is,
was slavery in the United States before?
Slavery existed thousands of years before we got here.
Okay.
Slavery was on every single continent in this world. That's a fact. Now, the thing that's a problem with it is that, then this is the problem that I have. What you niggas want?
What do you mean when you say what you niggas?
What do y'all want?
What
like, because y'all complaining about it over and over again, and I'm trying to understand what is it that y'all looking for. What is going to help y'all?
A whole thing that has happened.
Because I'm solutions oriented, and I'm tired of niggas that ain't never been through shit complaining about shit that they ain't never been through.
If you black in the United States, you've been through some shit.
But I'm tired of niggas complaining about shit that they have never been through. You've been through some shit, but you ain't been through that.
I don't understand. What are you saying?
Because most of the niggas that's complaining about it ain't never even really seen real racism. These is new niggas. All of these internet niggas right here, these is new niggas.
So are you saying black people in the United States, some of them have skipped over racism?
Yes. Definitively.
Come on, man.
Definitively.
Hit pause.
Hit
pause. You see, drop that. This is what we talking about. This is a man right? Who's, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Like that.
Yeah, the guy, he probably has that acumen to do what he's doing on the internet, but he's not a smart man. Okay, we brought out earlier, right? You mentioned it, how the dollar circulates in those people's neighborhoods, right? Because they have their own thing going on. We had our thing going on the same way. That they and when you look back and you look up the stats, it said that the money would stay in our neighborhoods for about 4 or 5 times before it left and went out. Okay, we were doing big business on Wall Street and all of that. Actual Wall Street, that's why they were calling it Black Wall Street, right? When that's taken away now, right, that devalues us financially and economic power and everything, right? How would this man say that we haven't been through anything? You understand? We're going through what happened before. We're still feeling the effects of it. You can't say that it doesn't matter and it doesn't affect us. It is affecting us. Because if they never would have stopped us, we would have been in such a strong position, my brother. We wouldn't be having this conversation. We would never be having this conversation. You would never say, damn, I don't want to deal with my black sister because she acts like this and like that. I got to go to something more, this and that. Because we would have had everything set up to where the woman would have known her correct place. The man would have known his correct place. You understand? Our families would have been in order. Everything we're suffering is because of that. We can't say that it doesn't matter. Oh, a nigga, he ain't never been through nothing. These is new niggas. And trying to sound tough. Bro, this is dumb. Yeah. He's a dumb man.
Hey, and then we ain't never been through nothing, right? But in the 80s, in the early 80s, they came and dropped crack off in all black neighborhoods.
Talk to him.
How we ain't never been through nothing? How is that not a racism? How did people skip over that? What was we doing then? We was trying to unify all across the country.
Right.
But then what happened? Guns and drugs was dropped off in every major black neighborhood. Then it turned into what? Black on black violence and crime.
There's the YNs in the thought.
And there were exactly. There go your YMs was born.
That's right.
Right there in the 80s.
Right.
We ain't suffering and no racism. This man is an idiot.
Yeah. That's because he knows no history. He didn't take time to learn because he thinks by learning his history it's going to hold him back. My brother, in our organization, we got doctors, engineers, lawyers. Everything that people talking about they're going to be, they're here. So what's the difference? We teach go to school. All our kids are going to go to college, bro. This is what it is. You need your education to be able to move on, unless they get a trade, electrician, and there's many, right? Mechanics, right? Now you got electric cars. You got electric car mechanic. You got many things going on. So we push our kids into education. That's premium. That's a must, right? So why can't you still be educated? Why can't you still have a black family? Why can't you still do all these things and still know who your enemy is and know who you are as a people?
Right.
We don't have to assimilate to know that.
Yeah. Hey, and by the way, 99.99999% of the drugs that's brought here, white people bring them here.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's excellent because Rodane, you do understand that during the time that Officer Shem brought up about the crack era, right? That was white people bringing them drugs in. That was called the Contra scandal, right? If you want to learn a little bit about it, you can watch the show called Narcos, right? It's on Netflix. You probably had no interest in it, but when you watch Narcos, it has it in there. It looks like a show just drug dealing, but it's deeper than that. It shows you America's involvement in bringing drugs for guns for Nicaragua so they can win, so they can make money to keep the war going. They've been hustling. America's the number one drug dealers on earth. That's why they say, in God we trust, gold, oil, and drugs. Okay? First thing they did when they went to Venezuela, they stole gold. You watched it?
I've watched it. Pretty interesting series. I actually watched it in Spanish because I speak Spanish.
Oh,
but,
excellent.
You know, at the end of the day, listen, did those drugs come in? Obviously, we know who put them there. But at the end of the day, you know, we're human beings. We have bodily autonomy. There's something called choices that you have to make.
That's correct.
You're right.
You know, obviously, you know, it's very, very enticing. You know, you pick up maybe like a bag of, you know, cocaine, you sell it, you sell it for 1,000 times the profit. Very, very profitable business if you can avoid getting caught. But at the end of the day, like, you know, there's again, we come back to accountability. Yes, we know who put them there, right? But it's accountability. Who chose to sell those drugs? Who chose to pick up the guns and kill each other? Those people did. So, you know, it all comes back to accountability.
Rodane.
Yes, I understand they always, it's a very, very popular term online now. Is the CIA is winning, or the CIA is like rubbing their hands. But at the end of the day, it's choices that you make. And that's my life is a testament to that. My family. There's a lot of people in my family, who have committed crimes, right? A lot of people in my family who have done time, right? A lot of people in my family that may or may not have gotten deported from this country because they did stupid things. But at the end of the day, choice is, there's a reason why this country is great, and you have the choice to do what you want to do. Obviously, as long as you're not inciting violence and drugs. But at the end of the day, choices. I understand what you're saying. CIA put the drugs there. We know who did it. But
Rodane, watch this.
You have to be responsible, man. Like, it's choice.
Okay. There is a choice. You're right. 100% right. But when you take the other option off of the table, there's really no choice.
See,
when you really think about it,
right?
Because you dropping this stuff in low income and low communities where they don't have money,
right?
Where they don't really have it, and they gonna do anything to do it. You gotta remember and watch. If you look at the history of our people, we are very, very, very envious people. We do stuff that is not so moral to get an individual ahead instead of working together. And as we already established earlier on in the show, I wouldn't want to work with no black people either if I knew they was gonna drop a stick of dynamite on me.
Right. But
who gonna do that?
But let's add this, right? Because Rodane, you young, you wasn't around. During that time, I was around. I was a kid during that time. I'm talking about of age to be outside, like they like to say, right? Those were the times when you would get a college degree and couldn't get a job. Like, I knew people. I wasn't of college age or nothing like that at the time, but people were getting college degrees. I'm talking about our people, and then they couldn't find work. Okay, I'm trying to tell you how it was at that time, right? We're talking about bright, smart, intelligent young men and women couldn't get work. They would get a bachelor's degree and then wind up working some menial job and have to wait until they finally get their shot. Then, with not much opportunity, you got somebody saying, hey, you sell this, you're going to make $3,500 for the week. You're like, what? Nobody going to know nothing. You standing right downstairs, boom, you pump. There you go. Now all of a sudden you got a Honda Accord. Couple of weeks. Boom. What we're saying is, we're not saying it's good, but when you take from a community our opportunities that we had at one time, now we have this, we're going to say, to hell with this. I'm not going to go hungry, because that's what it was. A lot of guys were literally going hungry. Mm-hmm. Then other people were just greedy, like, oh, shoot, you can make money, let me do it. Then it turned into that. And like Officer said, it started becoming envy. Damn, he got this, let me get it now. And it turned into that, right? So we can't just say, okay, now we know better, because that era passed and we like, damn, that destroyed. Even a lot of those drug dealers who went to prison and they out now, they'll come on a podcast and be like, I wish I never did that. I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. I didn't realize it was really poisoning the community. They just looking at it like, oh man, we coming up. If you on drugs, well then that's your problem. But now when they look back, they say, damn, people's families were destroyed. Like, they're not the ones who brought the drugs in, but they helped in proliferating, right?
But I mean, what's the excuse today?
There is no excuse today.
Today's the effect.
Yeah.
Today is the effect.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
Not the excuse. It is the effect. So we can't negate of the cause when we see the effect. That's what I'm saying. So give me Proverbs 30:8 real quick.
Right.
Just to show you, crime and violence is directly connected to poverty.
Right.
It don't matter what race. So whoever's in the impoverished area, they're going to do the crime.
Exactly.
And if I'm controlling the poverty, who has the wealth, and I'm controlling who has not the wealth, I'm limiting options, and I know what the poor people are going to do. So watch God say it. Watch this.
Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 8. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches.
He said, don't make me rich or poor. Put me somewhere in the middle. Give me sufficient for me, read.
Feed me with food convenient for me.
I just need just enough, read.
Lest I be full and deny thee.
When we're full and we're rich and we're bountiful, we tend not to think of God, right? But read on.
and say, who is the Lord?
Read on.
Or lest I be poor
Now, when I'm in a poor state and I'm a lower state, read.
and steal.
That's going to make me steal. And that's not, I'm the same guy that would have been bountiful, but now I'm poor. It's going to make that same guy steal, read.
And take the name of my God in vain.
And that's how you take God's name in vain, when you break his laws. So anybody, if I create the condition, right? If I take, we talk about Black Wall Street, that's very tangible. We know that one. All those families would have had the option to follow in the family business.
That's right.
To take over the bank, to take over the movie theater. We would have never had to even look at the option of selling drugs.
Right.
But when your baby is, you don't have kids, so you don't know what it's like when your child is crying.
Right.
When your child is crying and you need some milk, a upstanding man who never did a crime or killed anybody, you know what I'm saying, would do whatever he had to do, and only a father would understand this. Yeah. When your child is crying, you'll do anything to just feed that child. And guess what? I got a PhD, a bachelor's degree. I got all these degrees, and somebody's controlling the position that don't look like me. He gives that position to his cousin or his friend, so on and so, his frat brother or whatever. Now, guess what? My child is crying at the moment, and when you present me drugs, there's an option, and we didn't know the long-term effects of that yet.
Right.
Now we see the end effect. We know how bad it is, and now you're looking at the results. Say, well, I don't know why these niggas is acting like that.
Right, right.
It's the effect of it. It's the effect, and we can't negate that.
Yeah, and so we're just gonna bring up a couple more things, bro, and we're gonna let you go. It was an excellent time, but we got to show you a couple more things. Bring up that book, the Encyclopedia Americana, and then bring up that page that y'all just put up. Huh? Yeah. Bring that up. Bring up the cover of the book so he can see it. Y'all got that? Huh? I ain't hear what he said. Yeah. You got it? All right, there you go. Right? Go ahead.
The Encyclopedia Americana, complete in 30 volumes, 1829 to 1954.
Right. Now bring up that page. Go ahead, read that.
Social conflicts, warfare, and headhunting have been the social conflicts both now controlled by European governments. The greatest military organizations were those of the Maasai in East Africa and of the Zulus in the South. In Dahomey, West Africa, women called Amazons formed part of the standing army.
Go ahead.
Slavery was due to raids of Arabs and Hamites on Negro communities.
Stop. So you had the Arabs and you had the Hamites, Rodane. The Hamites are the actual Africans, the real Africans. You see what it says? Negro communities. That's our people, right? Our people are known as the Negroes. Even in Africa, there's a difference in black people. It's not all of us is the same. Right? So it says the Arabs and Hamites on Negro communities. Go ahead.
A form of domestic slavery existed among Negroes themselves. The slaves were prisoners of war, criminals, and those who could not.
All right, that's all on that, right? But we wanted to show you how, because Anton brought up about the Africans selling us into slavery, but it was deeper than that, right? What we just read right there is actually in the Bible. A lot of people don't know that. We're going to read it out of the Bible just so you can see. Get Joel. You know what I want out of it.
Joel, chapter 3 and verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
Right. So all of us, we were dispersed among all the nations, and what? The land got parted. Who has the land right now? You know who the two people are that have the land. It said that my land was parted. Okay, go ahead.
And they have cast lots for my people.
They have cast lots for my people. Meaning what? Sold to to Master Charlie in Virginia. Sold to Master McKenzie in Jamaica. All of that. Cast lots for my people. Go ahead.
And have given a boy for an harlot.
Right. They gave a boy for a harlot, meaning what? The breeder. Go ahead.
and sold a girl for wine that they might drink.
Right, and they had our young sisters and mothers and all that, raping them and having parties with them and all of that. Go ahead.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Those are the Hamites, the Tyre and Zidon. These are African nations that you find in the Bible. Go ahead.
And all the coast of Palestine.
And all the coast of Palestine. That's the Arabs. Go ahead.
Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Right, so he's now speaking to the Africans and he's speaking to the Arabs that we just read about in that page out of that encyclopedia. Read on.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
Watch this part.
The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem.
The Israelites, go ahead.
Have ye sold unto the Grecians.
Who are the Grecians? The white people. So you had the Arabs and the Africans sold us, the Negroes, the Hebrews, the Jews, the Israelites, to the white people. And that's how we wound up coming over here. Okay? When you read about in Deuteronomy 28, it says that we were going into slavery on slave ships. This is how we know who we are, my brother. All right? And this is why we take the time to teach our people, man, because, hey, bro, we got to know who we are. I got to show you one more thing before you go. Hey, bring up that thing, that quote by Mr. Torre. This is what I was trying to remember earlier. You got to, well, everything we showed you tonight, we want you to walk away with, and we're going to send you the link for the show and everything, but you got to see this. Bring that up real quick. All right, bring it up. Bring it up. All right.
When you are praised by the colonist, it means that you are bad for your people.
Yeah, that's Officer Tatum. He's bad for his people. Go ahead.
When they say you are bad, it means that you are good for your people.
There you go. Go ahead.
The day they say I'm good, that'll mean I betrayed you.
Period.
Ahmed Sekou Touré.
Right. Ain't no way in the world with everything that went on with our people that they did to us that we supposed to be in some position to be friendly, where they saying, yeah, those are some good guys right there. Good. What's so good about us? Like, we got the same mindset? Like, what are we talking about right now? Negative. No, because we're not saying they good at all. No. We know God is good. That's it. Whatever mercies we got right now, we understand that, living in this country, and, we waiting for the return of Christ. You know what I'm saying? But we know what it is. But with that being said, hey, Rodane, man, bruh, we want to thank you, man, for coming on, bro.
For sure.
For real. Being gracious with your time, man, and being brave to come on, man, because a lot of people don't want to come on with us. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they're nervous. They think that we're going to, beat them up. But this was a excellent conversation, man, a very spirited dialogue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, when I saw the DM, I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can have our disagreements. I mean, obviously,
Right.
with dating outside the race, stuff like that. I mean, I don't have a
Come
problem
on,
with it.
man.
I think you should, go where you're loved. But
Stop.
yeah, it's a great conversation.
Yeah.
It's not that necessarily discrimination. I've give you guys my reasons, as this officer would say, discrimination was very, very creative. But yeah,
Very creative.
I just think I like a woman that has her father in her life, and it just tends to it just happens that most Black women, unfortunately, that's just not the case. So
That's true.
that's just what it is.
That's true. That's true, man. But listen,
at
bro.
the end of the day, accountability is very important for me. Like I said, a lot of the FBAs, right, Foundational Black Americans, they're never going to believe me, right? They're going to call me a tether, whatever it is. I actually don't mind being called that, right? It's kind of like a compliment at this point.
That's a divisive rhetoric, bro. We don't got time for that. That's foolishness.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, man, the reason why I say the things I say is because most people are never going to say it. A lot of, in a way, a lot of people call me the voice of white people because
that's bad.
I mean, obviously, they're never going to say this because they're going to be called racist. But, I mean, I'm not looking to be liked by white people. If me personally, I don't really see color like that.
You better start.
It just is what it is. It's either you're good enough to do the job or you're not. But I just think accountability is very important, and I think a lot of the victim mentality, if that got ridded from the Black community, I think we'd be far ahead than where we are right now. So yeah, very important.
All right, bro. So, hey, listen, man. Hopefully, at some point, we can bring you back on and argue with you some more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
Yeah. All right. So, thanks, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
All right, Godspeed.
Yeah.
All right, be safe out there, bro.
Good looking out, man.
Night,
Yes,
guys.
sir. You as well. Shalom, bro. All right, all praises, man.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good stuff, man. Excellent, man.
That was very,
Excellent
very
stuff
good.
right there. You know what I mean? Hey, y'all. The Booster Club. All right, we need y'all help, right, to restore the 12 tribes all around the world. All right, we hitting the 4 corners. All right, we about to go on a major move, Lord willing. Right, well, we always on some major moves. But hey, we need your help. What we got? Airfare, food fare, hotel fare. All right, we need all y'all help. Put in y'all bricks, and we're gonna take care of the rest. All right. All right, save a couple dollars for the Nehemiah Squad. Donate. All right, that's our QR code. Take the time. Send us a couple. And PayPal at iuic.norcal@israelunite.org. I know. All right. Hey, also make sure y'all like, share, subscribe.
Right.
Okay, comment on the comments. All right. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. All right. And we're gonna be here next week, 8:30, Lord willing, Pacific Coast time. All right. Next week we don't have the thumbnail, but we're gonna be getting into ice. We're gonna get a little heavy on that. All right. It should be a good time. All right. Hey, Officer Shem, bro, get us out of here.
Yeah, man. You know what to do.
Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 21.
Yeah.
Then I testified against them and said unto them,
Yeah.
Why lodge ye about the wall? If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you.
Check it out. Y'all know what time it is, man. If you do this thing again, we gotta lay hands on you. If you don't donate to the Booster Club, where's that? Right there. We gotta lay hands on you. And if you continue to discriminate against the sisters and don't appreciate, we gotta lay hands on you.
Right.
Hey, this is the show. This is the Nehemiah Squad. We are your hosts. I'm Officer Shim. That's Captain Zaccai. That's Officer Judah. We out.
All right, Most High Christ bless y'all. Shalom, shalom.
Even the East, spend holy days away from the heathen. I need a break, I don't need a reason. I need a script, I don't need your grievance. Keep it to yourself. It's better for my health, leave it on the shelf. And he